After more than a year of being back in the United States, I've decided to move back to Europe. And in this video, I'm going to tell you the 5 reasons why. And hopefully, if you're thinking about making a move outside of the US to Europe or any other corner of the world, this can help you with your decision too. This has been a lot harder decision than I thought it would be. And honestly, I didn't know until this week what I was going to do. I've kind of been going back and forth between just staying here in this really nice and comfortable apartment that I love, or getting back on the road and going out to different countries again. But after contemplating it for a few months, I think it's the right decision for me and also the right decision for this channel. So the first reason why I started thinking about going abroad is because coming back to the US was always something temporary for me. I never thought that when I came back that I would stay here forever. And so it kind of got to the point that after being here for almost, I think it'll be a year and a half when I actually leave, I just started feeling a little bit restless and kind of like asking myself, if I could live anywhere in the world, why would I live here? And at first, the reasons were very much related to my family. I was helping my parents with our senior dog, who sadly passed away last year. My sister was also pregnant with her first baby, and then she suffered a very traumatic experience at work that I made a separate video about. And then I wanted to be here for the birth of my baby nephew. They're now doing better. He's over a year old now. And so I kind of felt like, okay, the reasons why I came back to the US to kind of have a break from traveling and help my family with different things are now pretty set. Like, of course, I want to be, around to visit my family, and I can still visit them from anywhere in the world and they can visit me. But I feel like the main reasons why I came back, those have been completed, and I'm kind of here like, okay, so what's next for me in my life? The second reason that I think you could probably definitely relate to if you're from the United States is simply the cost of living. Now, it's always been pretty expensive to live in the US compared to other countries because of our economy, and it's a developed country. But over the past few years since the pandemic, things have gotten insanely expensive. I mean, prices have like doubled, tripled. Like when I first moved to Miami for 3 months in 2020, which was right before the pandemic started, my rent was $1,200 per month. And this apartment that I'm in right now was $1,800 per month back in 2020. This year in 2025, my rent is $2,800 per month. And so that's just an insight into how much the prices have gone up. Everywhere I've ever lived in Miami over the past few years has just gone up from $1,200 to $2,800. And for this rent price, like, you could live really anywhere in the country for a 1-bedroom apartment or anywhere in the world. And so being able to work remotely, work from home, live wherever I want in the world. Of course, it's really beautiful here. It's really convenient. Everything works. It's like the lifestyle is very easy, but it's very difficult from a cost of living perspective where, I don't live a crazy lifestyle. I don't really go shopping and buy lots of stuff, but like just being alive in this country and existing is just eye-wateringly expensive. And so I've just found myself thinking, like, if I can live anywhere in the world and I don't have to be here right now, then why would I stay? I mean, of course, I have friends here and things like that, but it's like, okay, I could have this same lifestyle for a third of the price in most other countries, or I can have a much better lifestyle in any country for what I pay to be here. It's actually cheaper for me to keep paying rent here and leave and go to another country than it is to pay rent here and stay and eat and buy groceries and take Ubers and things like that. So cost of living is definitely playing a factor. I just feel like it's a big waste of money when I can just leave and cut my cost of living in half or by 2/3. The third reason is because Europe just simply feels like home. I love it there, and every time I go there, I don't want to leave. If you saw my videos from earlier this year in April when I did an exploratory trip to the Netherlands, I really didn't want to leave after that trip was over, but the only reason I came back is because now I have this apartment, I have all this stuff, I have furniture, and I'm like, okay, I need to go back to my home base. But I really miss the amazing food that's there. I miss the lower cost of living, even though it's expensive now compared to a few years ago. It's still like a fraction of what it is here. I miss the lifestyle. I miss the more relaxed pace of life. You don't get that rat race feeling there. Even in big cities like London and Paris, it still feels like people have a really good balance in their lifestyle. And I miss the people. Like, I miss the community there. I don't know what it is exactly about Europe. Maybe it's because the population is condensed into a smaller space compared to the US, and there's a lot of travelers there. It's really easy to meet a lot of like-minded people. And I've even like walk the streets of Lisbon, Portugal, and run into people who like recognize me from my YouTube channel or from Facebook, or, you know, friends of friends. And it just feels like a very small community feeling compared to like living in a big city like Miami. It's very rare that I would like bump into somebody that I know on the sidewalk. And there's just a lot of like expat groups and meetups, and I don't know, there's something about the like conversations I have with people when I'm living in Europe and the interactions that's just different from the US. And I just miss that. Like, I miss that community feeling. And even though I do have good friends here and I have family that lives in the US, I just kind of miss my lifestyle. I miss the bike culture in the Netherlands. I miss being able to take public transportation everywhere. Even though I don't have a car here, I rely heavily on Ubers, and I miss just being able to get on the metro, get on the tram, get on the train, or book like a $50 flight, and to be able to go pretty much anywhere in Europe. And from here, I just paid $400 to fly from Miami to Jacksonville last week. I mean, it's just like the prices here are crazy, but like for $400, I'd probably spend $400 a year in Europe, like taking public transportation. So I just really miss that. And I miss all of the diversity and things there are to do, like the history, the culture, just all of the things that I think all of us here really love about Europe. I miss that. Another big factor is my work. Of course, this channel is called Traveling with Kristin, and when I'm not traveling abroad, I can't make videos about travel. I mean, I can make videos talking about travel, but I really like to show you about travel, like I did with the Netherlands videos, Norway, and all of the other countries that I've been to since I had a camera and since I had a YouTube channel, and I really miss making travel videos. I also help people move abroad for a living. I've had a relocation company since 2011, and up until the pandemic, I spent all of those years living in the countries that I helped people move abroad to. So the main countries that I help people move to are Spain, France, Portugal, Italy, the Netherlands, Mexico, Costa Rica. You know, the list goes on, but those are like the top 7 countries. And I haven't been living in those countries recently. As you saw on my channel, I went back to Costa Rica temporarily to do some administration, banking nightmare that I was going through. But I don't see myself living in Costa Rica again anytime soon. I love Mexico. I've been traveling there since I was 16, but the majority of my clients are like going to those, you know, top 5 European countries. Of course, we have partners in all of the countries. We have people that work with us, but it is helpful for my clients and for my business, and also for the channel, to be in the countries that I'm making videos about, in the countries that I'm helping people move to. And also, I talk to so many people every day, not just my relocation clients who I'm working with and like helping them with researching destinations, looking for housing, reminding myself all the time of all of the reasons why I also like to live in Europe and help, you know, so many US citizens move to Europe. But also the people who inquire with my company, like, hundreds of people per month, and I'm on the phone all the time with people that are thinking of going abroad, and listening to your stories about why you want to leave the US or Canada and go to Europe. And I keep thinking like, yes, I agree. Why am I not there right now? So I do think it's good for, the time zones, and just keeping up to date with all of the things that are always changing when it comes to visas and like all of the nuances of living in these countries. It's provides extra benefit if I'm able to be there. Of course, I'm able to do my job from anywhere, and I help people move to upwards of 30, 40 countries. That doesn't mean I have to be in all of those places at once, but it is really nice to, be able to be there, meet my clients in person. None of them are moving to Miami, so that's another reason why I would like to go back. And then the last reason is really one of the biggest reasons. And if you've been following my journey on this channel for a while, you know that I've been wanting to get citizenship in Romania and be able to get a European passport. So that's something that I've been working on for this entire year. And just a couple weeks ago, I received my grandfather's naturalization card, which I've been waiting on for months, from the Office of Genealogy in the United States. And now I have that piece of documentation that I've been waiting for, that shows his immigration card from Romania and when he became naturalized in the United States. And so the next step in the process is to actually go to Romania, learn the language, and then be able to pass the language test and interview to be able to get my Romanian passport. So I don't know how long it will take me. Maybe I'm thinking minimum 3 to 6 months. So I'll be applying for a digital nomad visa or another type of visa to stay in Romania and continue collecting the rest of the documents and apply for my citizenship. So it's kind of this combination of things, but also this week, my landlord asked me if I was going to be renewing the lease of this apartment, and that's coming up at the end of October. And so I had to decide, what am I going to do here? So that's really the last piece, is to take the next couple of months to downsize my belongings and prepare to leave this apartment and not let this comfort zone and bubble that I've created really hold me back from what I feel is next for me in life. And this comes from not just the reasons that I mentioned in this video, but also this intuitive knowing or like sense that it's time to do something different. That's something that I think you should never ignore. And I know from having talked to thousands of people that also are moving abroad, that idea of wanting to live abroad, it starts as like a tiny thought, like, oh, I wonder if I could live in Italy someday. And then over time, it grows and grows and grows until you finally can't ignore it anymore. And you've watched like 400 YouTube videos, or you've reached out to someone like me to get help. And then finally, you actually take action on that. And so it's the same for me as it is for you. Like when I get that inkling of like, it's time for a change, whether it's in a job, a relationship, where you're living, something like that, I think it's really important to follow that intuition. And that's what I'm doing in this case. So if you would like to follow along on the journey, make sure to subscribe, turn on your notifications. I'll be headed back to Europe around November 1st, starting in Romania, and then we'll see where we go from there. I'm thinking the following year to spend either some time in all of those countries, Spain, Italy, Portugal, France, or to have a home base in the Netherlands and then travel from there. So I'm still working that part out and hoping that everything goes well with the citizenship and the language exam. So definitely subscribe to join the journey, and I'll link to some other of the videos that I mentioned right here.